What up, M&R family?
It's your man.
It's Rash. But look, man, today we got The View co-host reacts to Trump 2024 presidential win. But look, man, any other videos that y'all want to see us react to on the channel, just drop it down in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Also, let us know in the comments what y'all think about, you know, Trump winning, Trump president.
What y'all think about this election?
Yep. Let us know how y'all feel about it, man. Trump 2024. Trump 2025.
25.
Hey, but look, man, let's get to this video.
Let's get to it.
So what happened last night? Anybody do anything interesting? Okay. The 2024 presidential race ended yesterday. And this is what the country and the world woke up to this morning. Take a look.
This was a movement like nobody's ever seen before. And frankly, this was, I believe, the greatest political movement of all time. And now it's going to reach a new level of importance because we're going to help our country heal. We have a country that needs help, and it needs help very badly. We're going to fix our borders. We're going to fix everything about our country. America's future will be bigger, better, bolder, richer, safer, and stronger than it has ever been before. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you very much.
So, how you feel?
I'll start.
Go ahead.
My takeaway is that the system works. We live in a democracy. People spoke. This is what people wanted. I vehemently disagree with the decision that Americans made, but I feel very, very hopeful that we have a democratic system in this country. We should value it. We should love it. We should protest if the situation arises that we need to protest, which I'm sure it will. And I've been through this before with Nixon. It's been very difficult. But boy, oh boy, do we have a country if we can keep it.
Yeah. Well, echoing the sentiments, Joy, one of the first thing I wanted to say for anyone that needs an example of when the person you voted for does not win, you do not say the system must be broken or that it was rigged. You say it is what it is, and you show up anyway. And I want to commend all those people that voted, because you sometimes hear people say, well, it didn't matter. No, it did matter. That was still your currency. That was still your power. And people turned out. Now, if you didn't vote, you really don't have a say in the conversation, so you can go ahead and sit down. But for the rest of you, and then a lot of what I think about is what I always tell my kids when things go on. You feel what you feel. Everyone has different emotions. Some people got what they wanted. A lot of people didn't. And you feel anything that comes up, and then you turn around and you say, let's look at the tapes. Let's see what we did. Let's see how we continue to fight for the people that we care about. And you take one step in front of the other. And so here we are today, and I still feel that optimistic because I feel arm in arm with so many people who agree with me. And I'm not going to stop marching. So
I like this pep talk, Coach Haynes. Listen, is it the outcome I wanted? No, but we live in a democracy. I have my vote. Millions of people cast their votes did. And what's important to me is this. Tens of millions of Americans, our friends, our neighbors, our family members, voted for Donald Trump. We disagree with him. I know we all do at this table. But they are good, decent people who are patriots and love this country. And I can't speak to what drove them to the conclusion of being with him, but I think it is a moment for us to listen to each other, to hear each other, express what our concerns are. I've spent the last 4 years doing that, and also listen to people who are with him, because this is a country that there is truly more that unites us than divides us. I know it doesn't feel like that for many people in this moment, but we need to bring down the temperature, the name calling, the demonizing. Let the other side, if they want to do that, they can do it. But I think it is a moment to listen to the voters. And this, I have to say, I've always thought he could win. I thought in the final stretch she might eke it out. I didn't expect it to be this resounding, and I think there are some lessons from it. I think we forget about rural America. I think the working class feels left behind. They feel like the powerful, the elite only care about them and their power. And he spoke to them. We may not have liked his words, but they turned out for him. I mean, the map was, it was beyond Reagan what we saw last night. And I think we need to start listening more about the concerns of everyday Americans who feel like this system is failing
When Reagan
them.
won, I remember the whole map was red.
Yeah.
It was pretty red last night.
I don't know. I'm profoundly disturbed.
I think if you look at the New York Times this morning, the headline was America makes a perilous choice. I think that in 2016, we didn't know what we would get from a Trump administration, but we know now. And we know now that he will have almost unfettered power. And so I worry, not about myself, actually. I don't worry about my station in life. I worry about the working class. I worry about my mother, a retired teacher. I worry about our elderly and their Social Security and their Medicare. I worry about my children's future, especially my daughter, who now has less rights than I have. And I remember my father telling me many, many years ago that I was the first person in his family to enjoy full civil rights. And now I have less civil rights than I had when he told me that. So again, I'm profoundly disturbed that the 14th Amendment of the Constitution.
How does she have less rights now? Is it because of, like, you know, they get to choose who have, like, what states have abortion and don't?
I guess, I don't know.
Like, she big mad.
Sure.
She big mad right now.
Did not prevent someone who participated in an insurrection from becoming president of the United States. I think that going forward, the convicted felon box on employment applications better be taken off, because if you can be the president of the United States, then you should not be prevented from employment in this country, because I remember applying for my jobs as a federal prosecutor, and there was a box for convicted felons.
Well,
and so that box better be taken off. And I think our healthcare system is now at risk. I think
no fluoride for anyone.
Yeah, economists have made clear that he's going to increase the debt by $7.75 trillion. I'm worried about mass deportation and internment camps, and I'm also worried about Elon Musk warning Americans to prepare for temporary hardship. I'm surprised at the result, but I'm not surprised. As a woman of color, I was so hopeful that a mixed-race woman married to a Jewish guy could be elected president of this country. And I think that it had nothing to do with policy. I think this was a referendum of cultural resentment in this country.
Well, I think it, I think it has to do with a lot of things, that being one of them. I'm obviously very disappointed. I'm very sad. I was at the Kamala Harris headquarters yesterday in Washington, and it was a very sad scene. The mood turned immediately, and I tell you, there's a quote I get a lot of inspiration from, and it's a quote that I read when I was reading about John F. Kennedy, and it says, "Whether I am on the winning or the losing side is not the point with me. It is being on the side where my sympathies lie that matters." And that, to me, brought me consolation and inspiration this morning, because I have no regrets.
Yep.
I worked hard as hell to elect the first Black Asian woman president. History slipped through our fingers again. I worked hard as hell for Donald Trump not to be president. But today, unlike Donald Trump and his followers, I acknowledge that he won. I hope for the best for our country, and I make a commitment to our LGBTQ, to our immigrants, to our elderly, to our young girls, to the women, that we will not stop fighting. We can be sad today. Today we can be sad. Tomorrow we stand up and we continue. We have every right as Americans, because we love this country, because this is the most exceptional country in the world, we have the right and the duty to speak up and denounce abuses of power, to be vigilant. And so I invite all Americans to do it. But we are doing what they didn't do. We are recognizing they won. Yep. Now let's see what happens when he is governing.
So, well, you look. We said to people, vote. We didn't tell people who to vote for.
Right.
We just said, go out.
Well,
yes, but I did not.
Yeah, I did.
Because I wanted to make sure people exercised that right. Too many people that I know died trying to vote.
Yeah, right.
Okay? So we start with that. And think about this. She did this in 2 months.
Yeah, I know.
She did this in 2 months.
She left it all on the field.
You know,
Yes, she
look,
did.
she, you know, everybody can always say, oh, she should have done this, she should have done this, She did what she did. She was everywhere. She talked to everybody. And people didn't come out. I don't know why. And it doesn't even matter. He's now the president. I'm still not going to say his name. That's not going to change. Yeah.
I have faith that some good, decent people are going to work for him. I've heard from some folks today. I think there's some reasons to be hopeful that people who believe in public service in the country are going to go in.
The thing that I wanted to finish up with is it's hard for some of us to hear that rhetoric.
Yeah.
After 50 years, after 70 years, to hear that rhetoric coming back, to hear things that came out of people's mouths, that we all decided as a public group, we weren't going to talk to each other that way.
Yeah.
So for me, when I hear that, I feel okay when I'm pissed at somebody who's talking down to somebody else. I'm all right with that. Mm-hmm. What I'm not all right with is trying to further wreck the country. So that's why everything that everyone is saying at the table really comes down to, listen, we're still here. People, when I got out of the car today, because nobody will let me drive, I saw mailmen, people with their kids. I saw people walking around, looking, drinking the coffee stuff from Starbucks. Yeah. I don't drink coffee, so I never remember. But I saw people living their lives, and that's what we have to do. And when things get to be so bright that we see them, we got to call them out.
Yes.
You have to call them out.
And no one's going to be storming the Capitol.
Yes.
You know what gets me? The exit polls showed, according to our research department here at ABC News, the state of democracy was the top issue to voters overall. So that says that they voted for a guy who wanted to overthrow the election, who also said he would be a dictator on day one. And they also said that democracy was number one. So I'm concluding that maybe they don't believe him.
But I think it means different things. I think democracy means different things.
It means a different
to different
thing.
people.
Well, when you're trying to overthrow a legitimate election and you say you're going to be a dictator, I don't know how you interpret that any other
It's a
way,
democracy.
frankly. So I can only conclude that they don't believe he's going to do that. And I hope they're right. I hope that they are right.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, I feel like they all be just big mad. They big
There's a
mad.
lot going on.
But look,
A lot
man,
going on.
let us know what y'all think about this video.
Man.
But look, man, any other videos, drop them down in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. But look, man, we catch y'all on the next video.